Michael Stutter, the Wild Man. Oh yeah, Mabasma, hanging out here, going into the 2022 Democratic shadow primary, which is why we're running from it. Just like this, what you can see from the shadows here. This is regular dude. We're just mostly doing this for like mood ambience and stuff. So I'm running in Las Vegas, Nevada, the District 1 here, where it's being held. The seat's held by the Honorable Representative Dr. Dina Titus, who I'm actually a big fan of. We don't have anything. We've already had a little bit of chat through channels. We don't have anything personal going. This is primarily going to be an exhibition, which I'm going to be exercising likely as a convertible bid, which I'm going to explain a little bit more later. I wanted to get started by talking about what actually got me into the 2022 shadow primary. I'm one of the people that the $1,200 trek got withheld by the Trump administration. Well, I shouldn't say withheld. We have an investigation launched. I got a little impatient. My apologies to Representative Titus. I wasn't trying to interfere with her investigative staff, but I got in an argument because that $1,200 has been absolutely missing. I've been doing my facts up, reading the Washington Post actually, which I read almost daily, and want to thank Jeff Bezos and the Post over there. I am one of the guys who actually has to use your back door because I'm really that poor. Look, I don't even have public financing yet. I got my master's degree in the arts and music. Got a double major in music and economics as an undergraduate, and basically have enough credits to double up mostly as 2 bachelor's degrees. So it kind of makes me a pretty flexible candidate, kind of a MacGyver of academics going up against somebody who's a direct doctor of political science teaching over at the university here. And it's really actually quite excellent. We're going to spend some time talking about our records, honestly, about it and comparing it. Again, I'm concerned about 24% of Americans didn't get their $1,200 check. I had people threatening to steal it at the time. I've had people who were threatening to gang beat me. I'm showing you if I go to publish this, I've already had the utility shut off once when I intended to publish a video here up on YouTube. So this is why you guys haven't actually seen me yet. And so that's basically what's going on. I'm an economist. I was concerned about the trade barriers right now. Really believe that the pandemic is actually caused by our inability to get medical technology, goods, supplies back and forth. It was generally caused by the 75% trade tariffs that have basically been leveled on China. When it happens, that virus arose from, looks like a hunter and gathering situation from somebody who'd eaten a wild mink. It looks like a pretty, germane explanation as to why that jumped from an animal to a human, and we got the mutation spreading so fast. This is something that's actually happened in the United States between the Civil War and the Great Depression, and we know that the trade barriers themselves brought around the Great Depression along with the run on the banks because there was lost confidence. Right now I'm showing you the banks have caused a force run on it. I mean, I can't even get into my own banking account. I mean, I've had so many fees leveled and so many, different charges, overdrafts, things like that have been leveled that were real questionable in here. I've basically been forced out of the banking system. Some of it also were retaliatory for trading Bitcoin around the time in April 2018 when the first trade barriers went up. So that's basically what's going on. So I just wanted to hang out with you guys in the middle of the night and actually, like I said, give you a little bit of mood ambiance about it. I wanted to tell the representative, right now it's just basically an exhibition. We're going to be talking about the ideas and tallying up the votes. But because I did the work in music and economics both at a small independent record label, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later when we start talking about the records, the candidate records, I should say. But I don't really believe it's really an okay thing here for me to breach with the U.S. government and all in terms of employment or accepting employment, because I would lose that ability to be part of that independent media. I was an old rocker. Wrote some classical composition, including half of an opera. And again, I'm talking a little bit more about what the records are like a little bit later. But wanted to just let you know that I'm actually here for the district, and we're really concerned about everybody out there. As you can see, I'm growing my homeless spirit out. I'll get a better shot of that later. I actually have been out on the streets before. I have mental illness, paranoia and schizophrenia, which is the same disability that Dr. John Nash had. Please don't freak out. It's actually really harmless. I just have trouble dealing with public encounters and stuff. I have to always slow down and say, who is this person, why they're approaching me, things like that, and I have to take it real carefully with people. So please generally asking people to respect my privacy mostly, and I'll be out here and I'll try to be personable in public. Normally, I'm actually, like I said, an economist. I don't normally take political positions. I tend to consider myself to be an independent. Used to be with the Greens, but kind of drifted away, I think, and there's not really much of a Green Party here in Nevada. But all friendly with the Democrats, and believe it or not, friendly at times with the Republicans, and believe it or not, the Libertarians, who could be really close over some issues. So that's going on. We got those trade barriers that are rolling, I think, causing the pandemics. And you've got this blowback, I guess, against medicine, science that's going on, the arts, which is something that's a major concern of mine. One of the things a lot of people, know about me, my good fans know, I've also been an adult nude model as well, too, and I really actually have enjoyed doing the work, and I did not do it for the money. I did it for the art and the experience, really. So I'm going to be a very refreshing candidate, hopefully. We're going to try to keep things positive when we get there. Again, I want to emphasize on the Republicans across the aisle. I'm not actually as upset with you as you may think, or what you're hearing in the post. You're not seeing me, feeling me. This particular time, and my concern right now, is that we don't want to go in a situation with these trade barriers going up in this nationalistic state that we've got, where we're entering into a position where we're going to start forming a totalitarian government. Maybe in the way of China, which is a nationalistic country, benignly Nigeria, it has issues, but Nigeria is not really considered to be, for instance, a nationalistic government that would be something where it was done for the benefit of the people with those issues, but to protect them from European colonialism, which I don't think the United States is a victim of. I'm looking around whether European colonials, the Spanish conquistadors, are they in the room? No, not seeing them. It's a shadow primary that could be behind the door. You never really know. So those are issues. The check's not coming. I'm really getting the feeling that we're being politically retaliated at. And so when they withhold those checks, I'm pointing out to the representative that what you're seeing is they just sucked me into his politics. I didn't even know that I was arguing. Well, I was really hot that morning that I wrote you. And I know I had a young lady over here who was talking to me. I'm not totally we talked a little bit. She's a real sweetheart and very nice and everything. But figured probably had been from your staff trying to figure out what the hell had been going on. And that's basically what had been happening. I mean, they've been hassling me. I've got some other, things going on in business and in life, too. There could be issues that are impacting it. And again, I don't know what happened to the check, if it was withheld, if it had been stolen, which a lot of these were, but then they're not issuing a replacement check. I got another problem. I don't even own a printer. I got busted up so badly during a disability proceeding, and I hate to even have to bring something like that up. I don't even have a printer to print out the change of address form. I did leave the change of address with the Congresswoman. And I'm getting some word of mouth reassurances it'll be resolved in January, but we don't know who's going to win the election or what. I want to emphasize too, I've been in contact, I believe through channels, with the DNC about it. I want to let everybody know hi over the Vice President Biden, President Obama, and I want to say again to Representative Titus here. I'm here. I'm alive, and it's me. I'm a human being actually. So I want to let everybody know, everybody's also been a little concerned about this stuff. We've had the utilities, people actually shut this off of this property about 8 hours. One day when I went to originally go record this video, I think when I announced the week before on Isaac Arthur's channel, hey Isaac, what's up? And that's basically so what's up. I'm going to talk a little bit more again about the resumes. I have a letter from Dr. Paul Krugman, an essay, open letter, or essay, I should say I found on the internet. I want to read it. I was really upset when I read it, but I've been fucking just upset, just really furious about all of this stuff because of the way the government's been withholding money and pouring some people into a disability, in a position where they're going to be left out on the streets. I think we're looking at 40% of Nevadans right now. And I'm not blaming Representative Titus, but I'm saying we're not voting for Congress, we're not voting for the president right now. I'm taking that statement back about Representative Titus. I really believe everybody should support her through this. Do it, and what we're going to do is we're going to have a real interesting primary afterwards. And I'm, as an economist, not really a politician, and said I don't really want the seat. So what I'm going to walk everybody through is the actual process of setting up one of these primaries from scratch so everybody can see it for the record and have a good time. Like I said, I'm an artist. I'm mostly here to horse around and promote independent media. It's kind of where I see more of my position. I also, do some pro-gambling, stuff like that. So I'm raising my visibility a little bit. And I'm going to take the attacks. I think the Vice President and Representative Titus, everybody's really been laying back. They encouraged everybody to stay at home, do the campaigning from home, and that's what I'm going to do. But generally, with an early primary announcement, my job is to build the momentum up first. So I'm taking the attacks for the DNC and the representatives. And I'm going to let Representative Titus sit back. And again, we're not going to be bad-mouthing or doing anything like that. I'm not really trying to disrupt the country at a time. I just want to put a lot of heat on these guys to settle up, make certain people stay in their homes. It's not okay. You knock these people out, they're going to lose everything they own, I'm telling you something, for every day they spend on the streets, figure at least 2 to 3 nights of sleep for things to be right again in their heads because of the brain damage they're going to suffer. And now I'm going to show you some of the tricks, the tips, the scams, things that I learned as an economist. Now, I'm not one of those guys who've been crunching the math. I've been out of college about 18 years now. And I did a lot of work in an industrial organization trying to survive. I got people actually accusing me of being a civil rights leader like that. Me? No way, dude. Just for getting my butt kicked a few times, right, with a couple gang beatings and shit just for mouthing off. Truth to power. No, that's not what's going on, man. Dude, that's just me getting my ass kicked. That's the way I look at it in life. Representative Titus is actually a great civil rights leader, and quietly so. You had to see some of the accomplishments of her getting this stuff, especially for women's rights through Congress. I'm going to show too that I'm going to be taking the radically liberal position for the feminists. So I'm going to be talking about the sex workers like me had been in the past, shit like that. And we're going to go and I'm going to bring that up into the conversation. We're going to talk about that with the moderately liberal women over here. And see if we can talk about some of the finer points of women's issues here in the campaign. Economics is a huge thing. I'm also really want to talk to a little bit about Steve Bannon and the financing that's coming from Goldman Sachs that I think was real sketchy. You know what I'm saying? I can only raise awareness. I don't think you necessarily maybe want to legally retaliate. If you do want to take real serious steps about looking through this thing one detail at a time. I don't know about Steve. I got mixed feelings about him. Now, Steve Bannon, if you don't know this, he's my bipolar. I'm his bipolar and diametrically opposed opposite. I'm the green version of Steve Bannon, if you can believe it. So, and I actually with the master's degree in music and the double major. One of the things that I own Twitter Ravens Records, which is now it's shut, but because it's just a sole proprietorship, it's just me. Provided I survive this experience, that record company and get the financing to reopen, that record company will be there, along with at least 2 albums. And likely a finished opera at some point if I can ever get back to composing. Distractions have been ridiculous the last decade. Struggling to get back into graduate school to get either a terminal degree, an MBA, master's in economics, or a PhD in music. And so those are things that I've been working through in my professional life, getting stalled by graduate loans. I have been disabled, I haven't been able to work, but I can do some work on my own. Just seeing multimedia, music, stuff like that. It's high-end work. But with the disability, can only work with limited hours. My concentration tends to go. I'm not asking anybody to feel sorry for myself. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm on private money right now. And I'm looking to do some legitimate things in life here, like run a shadow primary, apparently, as legitimate as that can be. So basically wanted to say what's up to everybody, so you guys know that I'm a human being back here. So what's going to happen is we're going to go into this thing. I'm going to be attacking the Republican plan. And I want to try to keep away from individual personal attacks because actually, believe it or not, there's some people across that aisle I really like over there. I think they're good people. Let me show you something about Senator McConnell, even a real hard-nosed negotiator, with somebody you got a great deal of respect for through this process. So, somebody else like Representative Sensenbrenner in the district that I grew up in, and there are other people on the other side of the intelligence aisle, Senator Barbara Boxer, Representative Swallow. And so other people up here I have had some contact with and through their offices and stuff, and they're good people. But the bottom line though is we can't have 40% of people out on the street in Nevada, and they need to pay now. The difficulty with the nationals, the white nationals, I get really kind of, I got some Jewish blood, and I really kind of flash a little bit with these guys. I think that's part of what people miss with me. About why I get so frustrated and upset with them. And I'm going to show you something. When we start digging this public aid system, you're going to be shocked. And I'm not talking about the good people in this aid system. You be nice to these employees. They're trying to help you out as hard as this thing is for everybody involved. There ain't enough money in these programs. They're not going to give you privacy. They are going to leverage you into a job. You're going to be exposed to COVID-19. And we're losing 0.5% of the U.S. population if we go for this herd scenario. So I want everybody listening to the medical professionals first. As an economist, the money dude, I'm telling you, you listen to the doctors first. You come back here and we help you sort out the issues that develop over the money. But that trade barrier has got to come down, and we got to start trading again with other people and getting this technology and the medicine and the supplies back and forth and the research and the people, the human resources. We got to get back to trading again. There are other ways to deal with our issues with China. They're not good on human rights with some of this stuff, and it's a different culture. You don't know. Same thing with the Russians. You get the conflicts with dealing with the Russians over business right now. are insane because the criminal codes are completely different than they are here in the U.S. So these types of international issues and stuff, it's got to be worked out. But these trade barriers are awful. And then basically what they're doing is they're going to drive up prices, limit supplies, so there's going to be shortages. You're going to have issues with the technology and the medicine, diseases jumping from animals and humans because people are being basically forced back to hunter-gatherer cultures in major industrialized countries because we can't trade. What they are going to force you to do, and where the economy really hurts, is I want you to think about a colonial homestead in New England. Just after the British come over the first time, you're forced to do everything with your family by yourself from scratch. The United States is no longer like this. You can't hunt your own food. If you live in the city, I can't go garden out of my bedroom window over here. I don't think that's going to be a terribly good idea in Las Vegas. Maybe somebody's going to walk by and say, hey, maybe not the fern, but the TV in the front room. So you got those issues with it, and it's just not possible. When you're trading with people, you're allowed to develop comparative advantage. One of the things we're talking about, too, is maybe increasing the college education pools. I'm in arguing there's no reason why the Federal Reserve, and it's radically liberal. I'm not a socialist. I'm radically liberal. I'm a radically liberal capitalist. I believe in using technology for the comfort of human beings, and I believe in having human beings going to get a lot of college and doing the thinking behind the machines to get the work done. That's what I'm about, seeing about human comfort, human life. An economist would train. One thing and one thing only. Human beings come first. If there is a plant installation where we'll make things safer, it's got to be done. Those things have got to be done first. You don't go buy insurance for casualties. You actually must go ahead and you must plan to put this equipment in. Right now with the COVID-19, we know that these sanitation jobs, and it's awful that they've been getting driven out of them. We'll show you some of the sort of the governmental crap that went on with this stuff. And one of the other things, a really frustrating thing with COVID-19 is that these robots need to be here in these plants to clean up these places, even the restaurants, the gas stations, stuff like that. You need to have a couple guys kicking back and not handling anything on the floor. And they've got firms, but it's a little expensive. Now, who's going to pay for that? Is the taxpayer going to pay for that? We're going to subsidize that? What are we going to do? What about, all the rest of the stuff with this? I mean, I got diabetes too. I can't work one of these jobs. So I'm going to get out here on the front line, hoping to maybe help save some lives and save some jobs here with the representative and the DNC. Again, I may drop back later on into just like my media position. Maybe it turns into a Democratic boss position where I'm helping with financing or whatever. I don't care. I'm mostly just popping up here to let the DNC and the new government come in and knowing that I'm here to help them save lives. I'm showing the Republicans too, even if I'm trashing you. If you're legitimately concerned about saving lives publicly in this election, I'm here. We're here to help with the problems that arise with that. So, again, thanks very much. I'm going to see if I can distract the representative. I'm going to see if I can, dip my hand into the Treasury and maybe, get my sticky fingers on the 1200, maybe just lift that out. Or we could cut some pork off the budget, maybe send a little letter of direction over the Supreme Court, and have that deposited there. Well, thanks very much, everybody. We'll see you soon. And we'll do some more videos, but I think the next one I want to do is to do the letter from Dr. Krugman. So, in my thanks also, Washington Post. I'm going to try to be really easy to fact check. Again, don't knock me out of the back door until we get some money to buy a subscription. The facts are basically coming from the Washington Post, from that newspaper, and they should fact check out there. I'm trying to, like I said, stick to the hard stats. I don't always remember things, and if the paper says something, they're correct, I'm not. But again, thanks for all the help over there. So I am one of those dudes actually who's running the shadow primary to the Post. What's up, guys? I appreciate you stopping by and saying hi through the paper and stuff like that and talking about the primaries. And again, I want to see on my end of it, it's just I'm afraid that the cable company, when it was originally going to post, was going to shut it off because they did this actually in a day it was going to post this thing up. So yeah, shadow primary it is. We'll see what the retaliation is going to be like. And that's what I'm going to suggest to you, my viewers. As I go as an economist to insert myself in the story and make art out of this thing. Again, the gonzo economist, and that's kind of the essence of it. Is we're going to have a little bit of fun, and we're going to see how this thing. I'm going to actually be taking it apart during the campaign, and we're going to let everybody kind of see what the campaign decisions are, what the positions are, and I'm going to talk about this more about as a sort of a structured conduct performance, or mostly structure, how these primaries are structured, and what goes into them. And we'll see, because I can tell you something about channel primaries. Party politics. Like I said, I'm independent most of my life, and I think party politics are actually a little shady. So I'm wondering, just because I got the lights off, does that make me shady? Like, what is that? Well, anyways, everybody, I want to say good night, hello again, and peace. Retaliate in peace.